can't believe we had to resort to eating Carl. We've known him since we were kids.
I know, but we've been stuck in this bomb shelter since the invasion.
I know.
And you know what the worst part is? I'm not even full yet.
Me neither. I'm so hungry. Let me grab my Patriot supply. Boom!
What? You had that the entire time?
Yeah, I forgot I bought it. There's like 10 of them.
We ate a human being.
We did. But now we have macaroni and cheese and oatmeal and, pancakes. And, my favorite, pudding.
Pudding? This changes everything. I love pudding. Hey, Carl. You want some? Whoa, I guess not.
Pudding's for alive people only.
I'm out. I need yours. Give me. Oh.
I eat you.
My Patriot Supply. Delicious and a whole lot better than eating Carl.
June 18th, Pikes Peak Center prepares for the funniest show on Earth.
Nope. Hold on, Sydney.
I was listening to that.
I know you were, but I got an idea. I got an opener for Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Last time I was this high, I got checked into rehab. Because it's high altitude.
Are you doing drugs again, though?
No, like I'm on a high altitude.
Oh, okay.
No? I think it's pretty solid.
It needs something.
Should I work in a Jerry Garcia reference?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, timely. All right. I might do drugs.
Yep.
Delicious. And I need to look at this. There you go. My seat was a little bit too high.
You're a tall fellow.
Glad to be with you. Hey, look, I bring tidings of great joy today.
I
think that's how it's said.
I think so.
Because yesterday I know was intense with Libs of TikTok. By the way, have some announcements coming here soon. We love those guys. Support them. But today, some good news. Some good news. Netflix crashing. Twitter they really have their wiener in an auger. Disney crashing. Yes. CNN Plus. You can guess. I mean, I'll foreshadow, but spoiler alert.
Off to crash.
Yes. Exactly.
Burning on the runway.
They overloaded. They overpassed their envelope like Rihanna's luggage.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of batteries in the plane.
Yes. A lot of batteries and Samsonite. So, look, it's not all bad. There are, and I'm not just talking politically. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not just talking about the red wave that's going to be happening most likely in the midterms if you do your job. Sponsored by Kotex. I'm not just talking about political office. I am talking about culturally, you are not alone. And you're seeing this happen across the board. So it's going to be a fun show. I don't know that this one would get removed, but again, if we're not on YouTube, you don't see us, if we haven't told you we're not doing a show, head on over to Rumble or head on to Mug Club, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We are always streaming. That's the best way to find us. If you search this show and the title, you won't find it. Also, if you're on YouTube, hit the share button. The share button does help. We're finding that the algorithm now is changing.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
They're also changing the live viewership algorithm.
Oh, really? That's good. Yeah, just keep changing stuff.
Oh, we got that here.
What's that?
The sharing is caring.
Oh, we don't. Yeah,
Oh.
but that's just we all agreed that was a little too gay.
Yeah, we need a better one.
Save
I
it for
didn't see
June,
how.
guys. Save it for June.
So here's my question today, and it's more of. And by the way, we're going to be having competitions. We're going to actually be giving out not only locks of Gerald's remaining hair. We're going to be it's your body hair. We're also going to be giving away merch that's signed, that's been used on the program, and pin your comments, your best comments under each video. So today is actually a good day to start. Give me your best pitch for a woke Netflix movie or series. Get in the mind of a liberal. All right.
Good luck.
I don't know if there's anything else.
Congratulations on the millions you're about to make.
Yes. And then lose.
Yes. Yeah.
Gerald A is here. How are you?
I am doing better, I guess, a minute ago than I am now because I'm losing hair
On your back.
Well,
That's a good
anywhere
trade-off.
Right now, it's precious.
Yeah. Well, the last thing you want to be is that guy who tries to get the plugs and then you go
Yeah.
bald anyway, so you have the scar.
Yeah, it's like, that's
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys.
You made two bad decisions. And you know him, you love him. He's actually going to be at the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach this Saturday, but him and I are in Colorado Springs, June 18th, Pikes Peak Center. We had to add another show, so there are tickets to that second show. June 18th. Tulsa's sold out. Sorry.
Ahoy!
Hi, Dave.
I didn't know where parts.
Sorry, I was trying to plug all your stuff.
I know. I didn't. I didn't know. I thought I didn't know if you were done.
I'm done.
It's better than hair plugs.
Are you
Dave.
good?
Just
It is better than hair plugs. Steve and I aren't worried about that.
Oh,
What?
I worry
have
about it for the
perfect
future.
hair.
You know.
Well, I'm sorry. You have height.
Yeah.
gotta
You
make
want
a
to
trade-off.
trade? I'll give you my hair.
Perfect
Give you
Aryan.
my hair for people to look up at me.
Yeah. He's like straight from a
true.
page of
Yeah.
Hitler Youth. Well, Hitler Senior Youth. Hitler Senior.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
Hitler. Yeah, he's not the
Not
best
that old.
example.
No, not Hitler Youth. He'd be like Hitler.
I'm younger than that
Hitler
writer for
midlife
Walpo,
crisis.
So.
Yeah. By the way, Hitler. Happy birthday.
Is it his birthday today?
Yeah, it's 420.
Is it his, really?
I thought we would
His
celebrate
birthday or like his death
day.
birthday?
Yeah.
No, it's his birthday. It's
Well, I guess we can celebrate it ironically because he's dead.
well, yeah. Well, I didn't really mean happy birthday, Hitler.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but a sponsor to our show is the gun that killed Hitler.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is.
They call it the Ava Braun.
Yes. The Ava Braun special. The Ava Braun millimeter.
If
Now,
only he could have gone out 40 years earlier.
I know. At least 20.
so before we move on to all of the info with Netflix, their stock price is taking a dive, and they're giving a bunch of reasons as to why that's the case. They're lying through their gender queer teeth. But this is so let's lead with this. They're now about to add a new documentary, and I thought this was so interesting because maybe they include it in the documentary, but certainly not in the teaser. A lot of people don't know the history of Abercrombie and Fitch, but their teaser is a full-on homoerotic tableau. I warn, if you have children here, or I know we have a lot of gay fans. If you're,
Be careful.
yeah, be careful. We
Always.
don't want to cause
Stumbling block, yeah.
a homo
They
brother to
just-
stumble.
They just walk out of the store and look at the pictures of the guys fighting in mud.
Yes.
I was always like, how is this pants?
No, these are our new mud pants.
Yes.
Yes.
It was always just shirtless dudes tackling each other in shorts.
And you would just think they would reverse it.
Yeah.
Abercrombie, like put the ladies in the men's section, put the men in the women's section. But then I
Right.
realized, oh, your demographics. So this is the Netflix teaser for their Abercrombie documentary.
You know that you're getting close.
When you're hit with the smell of Abercrombie,
The nightclub beats
yeah,
and
see?
bare-chested guys.
It was such a pop culture phenomenon. It was an all-American
It's a guy's
look.
locker.
And I considered myself an all-American girl. Oh, make me over.
Abercrombie and Fitch said, we go after the cool kids. If they didn't look a certain way, they didn't belong in our clothing. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely.
Yeah, because gay hipsters wouldn't know anything about being exclusionary.
No.
People, and this is what good
There's like token girls every once in a while.
I'm just saying, no one's wearing clothes and you're a clothing company.
Except the girls. The girls are fully clothed.
Every
Yeah.
single level. There's a reason people liked that brand. Exclusion is part of our society.
They were also firing people on the basis of their looks.
Was that the eunuch from Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Abercrombie said it
little
wasn't
birds are
that we
everywhere.
were being racially discriminated against. It was that we weren't good-looking enough.
Correct.
They've literally made
It's called modeling. Happens to a lot of us.
Exclusion was the root of their success.
They had a no headscarf policy.
Abercrombie went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
All American doesn't mean all white. Abercrombie
Certainly
admitted that they
means
had a lot to
all
hide.
no hijab.
We have some really troubling behavior.
This picture of 4 shirtless guys tackling one in a hijab.
Yeah.
Somehow that's supposed to look good.
They didn't invent evil. They didn't invent class. They just packaged it.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a couple of things that I want to say here. First off, this also ignores, look, this is the byproduct of postmodernism. You think it was conservatives who wanted a bunch of shirtless models at the local mall? No, look, Abercrombie was originally a gun and Western sportswear company. A lot of people don't know that. So that's what it was back when it was primarily aimed at men. And then you created the image of the modern man, and then you decided that they wanted a bunch of shirtless. Yeah, look at that. The guy's got his, was that a Brittany Spaniel? Look at this was Abercrombie.
He's not shirtless.
And all the references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. We'll have those pictures up there. A lot of people don't know the history, but it's funny to me that they're first off, the hijab thing.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of the media. This is the disconnect, wanting you to be offended. It's sort of like with Donald Trump. When Donald Trump would say something like, we're not taking any immigrants from any more shithole countries. Media would be like, can you believe that he called them that? And then people at home are like, I call them that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this didn't offend us at all. They're like, right here, they're going, they didn't allow women to wear hijabs. You're like, well, they also don't allow people to wear shirts. So it seems like we're 2 steps removed. And it's exclusionary because I'm not as good looking as them. Do you think that's what people used to do? Like, they used to look at Audrey Hepburn and just be like, you bitch, I can't. Why isn't it me? No, it wasn't you, because we like great beauty. This is why there were statues. You can go back to any society for crying out loud. You can go back to the Romans. You can go back to the Greeks. You can even go back to caveman etchings on the wall. It's a stick figure with tits. This is what we have admired since the beginning of time. We don't expect it to be a realistic depiction of us. That's why they're models.
By the way, the Netflix thing, it's just highlighting the homoerotic stuff, but do you remember the catalogs in like the 90s and 2000s?
Of course.
I'm like 8 years old, and my next door neighbor, she has a 16-year-old sister. She's getting these catalogs that are like this thick, and it's full of like male nudity, but also female nudity too, delivered to a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it didn't always used to be that. It didn't always used to be that way, though.
No, but you ordered cargo pants and hemp necklaces.
Right.
They sucked.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, everybody got him, though. He's absolutely right.
But everything has to be a gay thing. I like gays, Abercrombie.
I had a sweater. I used to sweat a lot, and I wanted to hide it, and it was furry.
Sweater and sweatshirts, 2 different things. I learned that.
Yeah, one's wool.
Is it?
Well,
I thought it could be a nice acrylic. But the point is, Netflix, we've got a segment on you, and you know what? Maybe this is why you deserve to die, figuratively.
Hope there's an airbag at the bottom of that cliff.
Yes.
Yes.
And if there isn't, you can actually just tie a hijab into a bag and blow it.
There you go.
I'm just glad that old white men have 6-packs. I learned that today.
And those weird kind of V things that I won't get into. Dave, don't say it.
I can't use the first word, but the second word is gutters.
Yeah.
So terrible. Pubic lines.
Pubic lines, yeah.
That's not, you know what? Look, 6-packs are they're for teenagers and drug addicts. So
yeah, they're not real.
They're not. You have to be, it's just not normal. Look, this is the thing, too, where people are saying that it's unrealistic. Okay, can we at least admit now that none of us are one green smoothie away from being Justin Bieber? It applies to both men and women.
There you go.
You're not the only ones who feel like you're being body shamed. This has happened across the board. It's just that guys don't have to get emotionally invested and upset over it. If we see another good-looking guy in a catalog, we go, oh, okay, yeah.
Good for him.
Oh, the guy's probably on juice. We don't need to start a march.
We do, yeah. We come out with reasons why. It's like, oh, he probably doesn't have a family. Of course you can work out.
Yeah, of course you can work out. He didn't have a dad bod.
Jeez.
Oh, so it's a time on your hands. Isn't that great for you?
Good for you.
Didn't have that prolactin release that occurs after having children.
Probably a jerk, too. Yeah.
I just don't. You go into a place and there's just comically homoerotic photos everywhere and a DJ. I'm like, wow, this feels like shopping.
Yes. And someone following you around and spraying you with perfume, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, it's like you're being maced at a rave.
It's like, yeah, well, what happened? You go meet up with your wife. It's like, I don't know. I went to Abercrombie and Fitch for 5 minutes. I came out gay and smelling like a spring meadow. I don't know how.
I have
your
abs.
daughter coming home and is like, yeah, no, this is my boyfriend. He's a DJ at Abercrombie and Fitch. I'd be like, Get out of my house.
Your beard, honey.
You have 5 seconds.
Or I would lure him in the house with a bunch of Abercrombie catalogs and then a shotgun tied to the final door knob.
There's more in there. Just open the
opens
door.
it up. All right.
Yeah, it's just in there. Trust me, your parents won't mind what happens.
Speaking of things that people don't like, Bill O'Reilly is also trending.
The saint.
He was caught on tape. Now, look, I know some people are going to say, why? Well, look, Bill O'Reilly is not one of us. He's never been one of us. He's never been a conservative. I worked at Fox News for 4.5 years. There's a little bit of inside baseball that I won't fully get into because I think that's catty. And in that case, I'd be a model at Abercrombie & Fitch. But he was caught on tape harassing a allegedly 72-year-old JetBlue worker. And there's some dynamics here that do matter. So we'll talk about that after. But here's a clip when Bill O'Reilly's flight was delayed.
No, what you're going to do is 3 hours late. No, you're going to find out.
Yeah. You're going to find out, lower level employee. I was listening on audio. He called him an effing scumbag.
Oh. Yeah. Why, was there a sexual harassment claim?
Right.
Did they have you on tape?
And by the way, with the Bill O'Reilly stuff, yes, it happened. It's not one of those Me Too. They happened long before Me Too.
It happened.
I worked at Fox for years. Bill O'Reilly did actually, I think, even want to be on this show and have us on me on his show so he could be on this show. And I was like, do you know what I've said about you?
It's gonna be awkward.
I worked at Fox for 4.5 years, and the rule was if you gave something they handed to you, didn't appear in Bill O'Reilly, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I was, a 21-year-old being used like a human ping pong ball, and I did have stuff ripped off from me. I've never had any personal negative interactions with Bill O'Reilly, and there was one producer there who was really nice named Ron. Every other interaction I had with the program was really crappy, and everyone said the same thing. And there's a lifetime of footage you can see with Bill O'Reilly. The problem here, this is a guy who, and you get this with also, it's very similar to liberal elitists, so, Nancy Pelosi and insider trading. They get to a point where they're on this pedestal, they're so out of touch with reality, and then when they get knocked off, they still think they can behave the way that they could on that pedestal. And so he's treating people like crap, as he's always treated people like crap, like his producers, like his assistants, like the women who worked for him when he would try and read erotica over the phone and they weren't even willing participants.
Are you still there? Yeah, I'm still here.
Yep, still listening to.
Yep, she's just doing the dishes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, keep talking. This is great.
I bet he's not used to flying commercial, and honestly I can't believe he has to fly JetBlue.
Yeah,
didn't have Spirit.
There's not even a class system on that.
No,
it's like I was supposed to be at a sex island hours ago, and now my generic Viagra is wearing off. I'm not even gonna be hard when I land.
No. If the pilot's not ready in 10, I'm gonna slap his James Brown wig clean off.
Are there still stewardesses I can grope? What do you mean they're mostly men now?
What are they, just stewards? Are they just named stewards at that point? I'm upset because I might have taken too much Ritterol gas station boner medicine and Minifins. You have to fix this, day rater.
I've been working around the clock on a new book that people will pick up at this very airport, take one glance at, and immediately set back down with no intention of purchasing it.
Yes, it's titled Killing JetBlue Airlines Employees.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Was that, he's the one who did Killing Jesus, Killing Lincoln, Killing...
It was Killing the Killers was the name of one of his books.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's like you need to give up.
Yeah.
He's focusing on killing quite a bit.
Yep. Well.
Yeah, now he's killing the Asian guy who's just trying to do his job.
Yeah,
well,
killing your own career.
That's exactly it. And he said on Twitter, and this is why I think it's important to differentiate, because, look, we don't have all of the details, and I get that you can get frustrated with airline employees, and I get that they can get a little bit lippy.
Yeah.
But still, this does seem like it's out of line. And let's not conflate this with the kind of cultural censorship, the kind of cultural Marxism that some people refer to as cancel culture, with what's happened here at Bill O'Reilly. He tweeted this out. The character assassins on social media completely lying about my interaction with a JetBlue guy who misled passengers during a 5-hour delay. We've covered on BillO'Reilly.com. I expected this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
by the way, how do you know?
Segment?
How do you know that they misled you? This is the question, right? We'll be talking actually with half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond about Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And by the way, just spoiler alert, Amber Heard is a piece o' crap.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Just awful. I'm not even a Johnny Depp fan because every character that he plays just becomes a creepy gay character. It's like Willy Wonka, creepy gay Willy Wonka. Pirate, creepy gay pirate. Scissor hands, creepy gay scissor hands.
See, I didn't mind the indie work, but it's definitely the...
Barber? Creepy gay barber.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic
Every
Beasts
single
guy?
thing.
Creepy gay wizard.
Creepy gay, Fantastic Beasts guy.
Yeah.
The Kramen Barber of Meat Street.
Yes.
Whoa. Oh, it's a
But
little
this is
on the nose.
but the sort of metrics, right, that need to be met, or the bars that need to be met, for example, for defamation, which is what he's suing Amber Heard for. You need to be able to prove that someone lied. You need to be able to prove that someone knowingly lied, either lied negligently with a public figure, that means with malicious intent. You need to be able to prove that there were serious reputational damages. I think Johnny Depp clears all of them. But in this case, he goes, this person deliberately misled us. How do you know he deliberately misled you? How do you know that employee deliberately misled you? And I will say this. This is why, as you go through your day-to-day life, you do have to give people the benefit of the doubt so that when you do react, when there is righteous rage, and there is such thing as righteous rage, righteous indignation, then people know that it's appropriate, that you've removed all doubt. If you give people the benefit of the doubt, once you flip the switch, you remove all doubt. But Bill O'Reilly just does this all the time. I mean, who would have thought that this guy could ever scream at some lower level employee to make his point?
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there to play us out. What does that mean, to play us out?
How does he not know that?
Sting is going to do, it's a video, Sting video.
Jeez.
What is,
for credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
Still funny.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Still funny.
5, 4, 3.
He has to do it. Watch.
That's tomorrow,
That's
and
a pro.
that is it for us today.
That's a pro.
I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Now watch here. He whips his... Cut the... There's no... I just love that he has to go right back into it. It sucks!
And 5.
That's tomorrow. And
Sting will have a cut off of his new album. You're all gonna burn.
yes.
He's going to play us out. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why if it happened on this show.
This is the guy.
Even if I was hosting, I'd be like, well, I'll just say what was there.
Yeah, and I understand people can get frustrated. Like you kind of heard with Christian Bale, where a guy he apologized, but I understand if you're trying to do an emotional scene and someone's screwing around.
Yeah.
Well, there's plus the heat, the repetition. It's
right.
tedious. I get that.
You have to get emotionally intense for scenes.
Yeah.
But in this case, he just needed to say, here's a cut from Sting to play us out. I don't think that requires so much buy-in that, you have to be in the zone.
There's no words.
Yeah, it's really only tedious because of you.
Right.
I only know how to speak when there are words for me on the screen.
And F you, San Diego.
Yes.
He's just...
Somebody still feels important.
Not a fan.
All right.
No. He's one of the folks.
Hey, by the way, guys, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. We're about to talk Netflix, and they're not going to like this.
Look out below.
It's always weird. This is the kind of thing with Bill O'Reilly. It's always weird when you talk about something and you know that the people there are watching. Because you know the people at Netflix are watching, kind of like with YouTube when we would get a call, or you make fun of some senator, then they're bitching on the floor at some hearing. You're like, it was a goof.
Hirono again.
I never expected to be this influential. So I know that someone at Netflix, just like someone at YouTube who bought our mystery box years ago with the banned merchandise, was furious.
Which will be back.
It'll be back
by
only
popular demand.
Only at live events, live shows. If you go to Pikes Peak, Colorado, you can buy the old socialism fake shirt, but we will not sell it anywhere online.
Nope,
so Netflix, whichever one of you is watching, I don't know if you're the CEO or the patsy for the higher-ups. They just released a Q1 earnings report yesterday.
Yeah.
Numbers not looking great.
That's saying,
saying
it nicely.
Now, here's the thing. They have a bunch of reasons as to why. I don't buy them. But I think maybe it could be partially, not entirely. I don't want to be reductive. Partially because of gems like these.
Life down on Earth can be very complicated, and that's why people need us. Your team members will be hormone monsters.
Our division's orgasm numbers just came in, and corporate is f***ing pissed.
Shame wizards.
Good call mentioning what a knockout her sister is in your wedding toast.
Logic rocks.
There's no reason to stand up yet. I promise you, you will get off the plane.
And many more. You'll be assigned your human clients by the tube.
Oh, it's for Emmy.
I'm sorry, her?
Emmy, what we do here is important.
I get it. I don't take notes. I don't pay attention. I lied about my military service. Hi, I'm Emmy, your new love bug. Yay!
That's just the way you make me feel.
I'm amazing! Wow, my first case is a prego.
Is it just a teaser for this show, or do they have a montage of other things?
There's other things.
This one's just that bad.
Yeah, how much do I have to watch of this?
Maybe like 10 more seconds.
That's 10 seconds too many.
Praying, crying, grieving.
I just wanted to.
Pointless exercises and self-indulgence.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we still alive?
Yes.
You got a
Okay.
really sassy mouth.
Love lesson number 1. Love
is a psycho.
This is way more than 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it feels like an
that's
eternity.
Feels like
I was wrong.
thank
Here's
goodness.
another one.
Where do the popular kids sit?
Wait.
We're all popular. Oh, no.
I gotta give her credit.
Bring back the other one, please.
She used to be.
I don't
very-
mind Rebel Wilson.
No, I don't either. I think she. And look at. She worked hard for that.
Really popular then.
She was very big. She worked very hard.
This party is so we can be free, without prejudice or rules. Only for the brave.
No.
Exactly.
It's an
I think
Abercrombie
he mispronounced depraved.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
yeah. Different.
This is a cargo shorts commercial for Abercrombie.
Cinderella. Looks like someone has a crush.
Cindy's back on the block?
Oh yeah, she's back. She's back and she's going hard.
Oh,
Merry
no.
Christmas, bitch. I got some good news to tell
Oh,
you.
that's just Tangerine. It's the first movie shot on an iPhone. It is.
It is.
It's trans. I know what it is.
You didn't know?
They're like 6 years late to this.
I know. How long is this going to be? Do we have to watch any more of this?
Nah, it's 5 seconds.
They said that a minute ago.
Yeah, I said that a minute ago.
Come
I'm
on.
sorry, viewers. We should have done a better
geez.
job with this.
The
There's
same-
also cuties, and there's also basically everything is woke LGBTQ
Bosco.
AAIP.
I started watching the first episode of the Jimmy Savile documentary on there last night, and I don't think I can go to episode 2.
No, I've canceled my subscription. What were we about to say,
It's
Tucker?
horrific.
There was another Tangerine that came out that same year, and my
Was
dad
there?
had seen it. He told me to watch it, so I looked up that trailer and I was like, "What?
Oh, it was a different name?
What is wrong with you, Dad?"
Oh,
Check
no.
in on your dad.
Yeah, it was the
please.
first movie shot on an iPhone, and it was
Still sucked.
That.
Yeah.
You could definitely shoot a film on an iPhone.
Yeah,
That's neither here
that's
nor
not
there.
the point.
Oh no, I'm not saying that makes it good.
No. But Netflix is seeing a stock note, so let me give you a little bit of info. Like I said, there's some good news. And then even Jack Dorsey, but
Wow.
I'm not saying that what Jack Dorsey has done is, at this point forgivable.
No.
First off, because he hasn't asked for forgiveness. Second, because he's a demon.
Still has the beard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Netflix, they just lost nearly 200,000 subscribers since the end of Q4. That means the fourth quarter for people who just don't know. That's their first loss of subscribers in a decade.
Wow.
They were expecting 2 million new subscribers.
2.5.
2.5. Yeah, I was rounding down because I just thought I didn't need to add insult to injury.
They missed it by like over 2.7 million.
Yes, they did.
That's pretty close.
Off.
And they expect to lose another 2 million global subscribers this quarter. That's pretty big. Now,
They should give the same 8 comic specials over and over.
yes,
again.
exactly. I need another Hannah Gatsby.
Yeah, please.
I can't wait to feel bad
I'm
about
still
myself.
laughing from the first 2.
Self-deprecation. is self-humiliation, and I won't do it. Well, fine, just tell us what you will do. Not jokes.
Just do the humiliation, please.
A bit of this. I'm a Harry Potter who's eaten too much frosting.
Yes. I'm Drew Carey before he lost weight.
Yes.
So the news of Netflix, their stock.
All the prices of food, right? I'm sorry.
No, their stock is 37% lower compared to yesterday.
Oh, what a difference!
37% lower is not a mundane detail, Michael.
Yeah.
And over the last 6 months, it's down 61%.
Yeah, high of $700 a share to not even close to that today.
Yeah.
Well,
it's insane.
I just wasn't sure if my IRA had gotten lower.
And by the way, this is despite them still being the, I don't know if you know this, they're still the world leader in DVD Blu-ray rental. They still, the DVD service still has 2 million subscribers.
Are you serious?
People still do that?
Yes.
You said this before the show, and I
yes,
thought you
they
were
do.
kidding.
So what I would advise is not only cancel your subscriptions, but also have them ship out DVDs and send them immediately back so that there's no way they could keep up with the shipping costs. So, totally legal. Totally. Watch their 2 million DVD subscribers go to 3 million tomorrow. We can't keep up with these DVDs. It's too expensive.
It's all your fault.
Now, they immediately went on the defensive because they had to, and they claimed that there were 4 interrelated factors. And that's, by the way, that's tech industry talk for bullshit. So this is how they explained their poor performance. They said, number one, it's a lack of broadband accessibility. Well, that doesn't work because guess what? It's not like broadband is less accessible than before. It wouldn't explain the trend. Number two, they said password sharing. Please put on a password sharing lock like they're talking about. That's one of the only reasons that people use Netflix. What they're actually listing are reasons that should support more subscribers.
Yes.
People would subscribe with more password sharing. People would be subscribing more because there is continually more access to broadband. Right? There's more and more, and it's more affordable. Number three, they were saying new competition. Well, that's true. And then number four, macro factors like inflation, Russia's invasion of the Ukraine.
Oh, come on. How is Russia's invasion of the Ukraine having an impact?
This is Putin's economy. Biden has nothing
price
to do with it.
Although 90% of it happened a while ago.
Now, I do think that is true, though. I do think people are probably cutting back, so I'll give them that one. But what about this? I would list a couple of reasons, Netflix. How about the increasing price while also decreasing the quality of content? I think that's a big deal. Think about this for a second. Their shows suck.
Yeah.
Most of them suck. They lost all the Marvel stuff. That was a big component of it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, of course, all the wokeness, all of it. Look, you've seen a lot of people cancel their Netflix subscriptions. We'll get to Disney in a second, CNN Plus. This is a trend across the board, specifically with companies that have decided to bet it on a political point of view.
Yep.
Yeah. And they deserve this.
Yes.
They absolutely do. This is the market winning out. That's why this is a win for everybody out there. It's not just saying, oh, boycott this, do that. It's like, no, just vote with your dollars.
You boycott and you boycott. And by the way, Mug Club, loudofcolor.com/Mug Club. It's $69 for students, veterans, active military. We have not seen a drop. Now that, again, we don't have how many hundreds of millions of subscribers. But the point is, we still see the same trend because you join and you stay, and we try to provide value added. Like today, we'll be playing Bad Movie Lines, which we can never play on YouTube.
Nope.
Here's another thing. Elon Musk even mentioned and chimed in on this, what it might be, and he tweeted out, or I believe, he tweeted. He said, the woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. That's a South African environmentalist, folks.
82.5 million followers right
Well, and he's absolutely right. That's the problem, is when you start going at social media and thinking that that is the only barometer of what people want to watch, this is what happens.
Right, this is exactly
because
what
you create a bunch of content that no one wants.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
you make Cuties, which is basically just
For who?
porn.
It's for nobody, though.
Yeah.
It's not for nobody. It's for public school teachers.
Well, yeah, but even the stuff you try to make for the people you think you're going to please hate you anyway.
Yeah, those
Astonishing.
pedophiles are notoriously difficult consumers.
Well, yeah,
They're very discerning.
They're very persnickety with their child pornography.
I guess with Cuties, they may have hit the mark perfectly. I just mean with the other program.
Yeah.
I started watching it. I thought it was going to be about clementines.
That's Tangerine.
So he didn't stop there, though. Here's the thing with Elon. Elon is actually doubling down. He's giving context to it. He responded with some other tweets that were aimed at him. This guy, Pat Hole, tweeted, woke mind virus is the biggest threat to civilization. And Elon responded, yes. Niche Gamer tweeted, not just Netflix, movies in general, video games, TV. It's all infested with the current year trend woke garbage for fear of offending green-haired freaks next to the ban button. And Elon replied, true. And I think he deleted some of those tweets because he may have been drunk.
But he was correct.
Right. That's just
doesn't matter.
Not all drunk texts are wrong.
No, especially, well, I think drunken Asperger's are probably even more accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 3:10 in the morning, 3:16 in the morning.
No, he works at night. Have you ever read anything about this guy? Come on.
What?
He works all night.
He also works at day.
I have to write something down here because I forgot something. So
He's a billionaire. He's a psycho.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, I don't know if he's a psycho. I
No,
just
in
know
a good way.
He's a
like,
genius.
Like a sociopath in a good way. Aspergery sociopath. Not a bad one.
No.
Like just...
he can count like matchsticks. Or toothpicks.
Yeah, he's a Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like I'd go down an elevator with him in a match.
Yes, so would I, but I wouldn't turn on the the bathwater. So, why would Elon think, Mr. Musk think that Netflix is woke? And we just showed you a montage, but let me kind of rattle off a couple here. Content like, he's expecting. Dear white people, we the people, cuties, 13th, growing up coy, welcome to Leith.
Leith, huh?
The mask you live in. This is the thing. So, yeah, he's expecting is... I mean, we would have written that as a joke movie title.
All I can think of is the Kevin Bacon movie. It's like, he's having a baby.
Right. I think of Junior.
Junior, Junior's this.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Now it's woke.
Yeah. Couldn't do Miss Doubtfire nowadays. It'd be hate speech.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just Netflix. Oh, hold on a second. They're talking about it right now on CNN. Hey, Oliver Darcy, world's most useless professional.
Growth.
Wow.
But there are a lot of other things at play here too.
Is he wearing a mask nose disguise?
I think so.
Groucho Marx.
Yeah, it's like Ben Kingsley and Gandhi, wearing a joke store face.
35%.
How big is this
wow, that is a dip.
Let's hear what they have to say. Let's see if they admit, because we're about to get to CNN Plus too, so look, it all ties in. Let's see if they admit as to why maybe they're seeing a hit.
21 million subscribers Netflix has now. The idea is that Netflix is going to keep growing and growing, and maybe the market's 1 billion subscribers or something like that. But you're seeing Netflix stall now and actually lose subscribers. So it's really making Wall Street rethink the business model of Netflix and other streaming companies. And so what you're seeing is major jitters. Netflix's stock price, it's down 60%. This year, and 35% alone today. It's one of the worst days ever on Wall Street for Netflix.
Yeah.
I've been monitoring the ticket price.
I won my TV.
You just saw that. Hey, admonish him. Have CNN on air and admonish him. He's wrong. Do you see that? See that? He said year. It's 6 months.
Yeah, Netflix not wanting users.
This year. No, he said this year, which would mean just over 3 months, 3.5 months or so. It's like, that's not true.
Where a jury has just acquitted a doctor.
That's it. Think about that. That's why, and we'll get to CNN Plus in a second. Why would anyone subscribe? He just delivered the info that we delivered to you beforehand.
Yeah.
In a more slow way, in a more uninteresting way, and he didn't provide the why. He didn't provide any insight. Now, let's not act like it's because he's simply delivering the news, because Oliver Darcy constantly delivers the why. He constantly paints it with his opinionative brush. What happened here today is they didn't really want to get into why, because it might also reflect poorly on CNN, which brings me to, before CNN, Disney. Disney, their stock fell 5% today in pre-market trading.
Yes.
In 6 months, 25%.
Dang.
Is how they've dropped.
Almost 26.
25%. And just to be clear, this is something, all references are available at loudearthcredit.com. This is something that I try and do with you guys, is try and give you apples to apples comparison. Why? Because I did work at Fox News for years, and you see this on CNN, where what they do is they'll say, this year it's down this amount, and then compare it to, whereas this, and they take 2 quarters, or they take Q3. I'm trying to give you 6 months and today for Netflix and Disney. So you have what the drop was today, and you have a 6-month snapshot. I think that's important to do. So in the day of Taylor Lorenz and people talking about common journalistic practices, I don't know why consistent metrics aren't included there, but I see it all the time. You just saw it there on CNN. So, we've already admonished him. So Disney, 5% today, 25% over 6 months. Now, there are many technical reasons for the drop in Disney, but alienating half of its audience. And by the way, most notably, half of that audience being the governor of Florida.
That's a really bad move,
Yeah,
by the way.
might be a component.
And they're really pissed off about that. So DeSantis is actually reviewing the special tax status that they have, and that could cost them tens of millions of dollars every single year. It's like, what are you going to do? Build your theme park somewhere else? Fine, close it down and go. We'll use the land for something else. Just leave the rides.
Right. Yeah. Where are they going to go? Where's it going to be more friendly? Yeah. Build a Disney World next to Disneyland in California.
Yeah.
And by the way, people saying that, this is inconsistent. No, AOC, for example, kept Amazon out.
Yes.
The average salary was over 6 figures, and the citizens overwhelmingly wanted it. And she just didn't like them to have tax incentives.
Yeah, they didn't want to have. When you're recruiting businesses, you give them tax incentives to make them come there, provide jobs. The local economy grows. Everybody makes more money, and they end up paying a bunch of taxes anyway.
Right.
They just pay a little bit less. That's how you get businesses to move there. In Florida, they gave them this provision, I think, back in the 60s, and if they don't renew it, they're going to just let it expire and start collecting more money and saying, look, if you want to do stuff to destroy our state, to destroy our culture, we're not going to give you tax breaks.
And keep in mind, it's also Disney working with companies that are not in Florida. Other people, flooding political money flooding in, being matched by Disney from places like New York, from places like California, to try and punish the citizens of Florida who agree with the bill that you shouldn't sexualize, teachings to K through 3.
5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. Take your pick.
In fairness to AOC. The area where they are going to build that is now terrible, and most of the restaurants are closed.
So her plan worked.
Come on,
she
guys.
kept her people in poverty. AOC, everybody.
Sooner or later, those gentrifying bastards had to pay. Am I
know, right? Come on, who wants to make money?
Hey, can I ask you this? Genuinely, what are white people supposed to do? You think, okay, if we leave, it's white flight. If we move in, it's gentrification. What are we supposed to do? What do you want? What do you want us to do?
Die.
It's a perfect example of racial hatred.
Yeah. No, it is. It's what if we move too far? It's like, we go to the country because we're not around.
Yeah, it's like, that's our fault. Yes, we left, and that's why the area got terrible.
It's like, hey, I'm coming in, bringing in coffee shops. I'm like, this area isn't the same. It's you're gentrifying it. All right, I guess I'll just go. Oh, you're white flooding us now? What? It's like I'm in a relationship with a crazy woman.
Yeah, and then the white hipsters move back into the area, and it gets worse, and we're like, we can't win.
Yeah, then there's an epidemic of hipster rape. Surprise, Skyler.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Like Detroit.
Move in, and you're like, well, it's getting pretty nice.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Hell's Kitchen. No more Summer of Sam when the homosexuals moved in. So finally, outside of it doesn't just affect entertainment.
Yeah.
Like Disney and Netflix. It also affects non-entertainment, like CNN Plus. They're also trending down. They invested $100 million to launch the streaming service at the beginning of this month.
Yes.
Currently, it has 150,000 subscribers.
Please invest $100 million more, CNN. It just takes one more. Hey, $100 million.
Yes. No, seriously. Look. I don't like CNN, but I do like to see people do well. I'm a free enterpriser.
Yeah.
CNN. Look. Okay, we're gonna let's put our guns down. Okay. I'm gonna offer you. It just requires more money.
That's it.
You're not spending enough.
Just put more money. Put Stelter money in there.
Put more money into it.
I think Stelter is at least 10,000 of the subscribers.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, 150,000 people.
Just watching the cooking shows. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. This is also the media disconnect here. Look, this has been, we've lived through a season when people talk about movie stars, when people, look, it's not real. When people talk about anchors, it's not real, okay? CNN, Mug Club, it's this, just you subscribing for the show, not even including all of you who are there at the Blaze, is more than all of CNN's primetime hosts combined doing their CNN Plus. So once these people, of course, get salaries of many, many millions of dollars per year. I don't. The salary of an Anderson Cooper is more than the total budget many times over that we have for employee, staff, utilities. But when they're on their own and they eat what they kill, and it's not some network, when you get to pay a la carte, you don't want them. No, who's paying extra for more Don Lemon? Joe Lewis, place. More people would tune in to Joe Lewis than Joe Lewis.
Yeah.
Get in your. See, even I say Don Lemon, he doesn't like it.
Joe Lewis
no one's saying needs more lemon.
No. I'm surprised there's 150,000 people willing to subscribe to more of that. By the way, are you surprised
more people just tuned into Joe Lewis just now?
Yes, just now.
All.
Down, Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis down.
Chris Wallace made a great move, huh? Left Fox to go to CNN Plus right as it was crashing. So he jumped onto a sinking ship. That's usually the opposite.
Well, people all bitched about, we saw this, or bitching about cable and, this is going to fracture everything. Well, yeah, it does. So what happened is we had 3 networks. Viewership was crazy high. Then we went to cable, and everything sort of went down again. Then we went to the stream, especially once we hit that point where more people were unplugging, and the big shows that came back were like the Stranger Things, where now you basically had 3 main networks. At one point, it was like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Almost went back to exclusively network TV. Now there are so many, we're getting back to the online fracturing, and people value their dollar more. So when you get to pay, that's a good thing for you. We'll never have another Johnny Carson. We'll never have the kind of even like, maybe the Super Bowl is one exception, but the Oscars ratings or a late night show. I mean, you're talking about a difference between 30, 40 million with Carson, and one of these other late night shows is lucky to get 3. Yeah. Lucky to get 3. But that's because you have more choice. And when you make your choice, rather than it being thrust into your television sets, guess what? It doesn't do well. And that's why social media, big tech, they're trying to thrust it into your timelines. Only instead of calling it a cable package, they're now calling it an algorithm. Because these people cannot win. Don Lemon cannot win. No one really cares what he has to say. No one wants to watch his content. Chris Cuomo cannot win. Anderson Cooper cannot win. Brian Stelter cannot win. So they have to go to the powers that be and demand that competition be eliminated. You're seeing that happen right now with Netflix, with CNN, with Disney. This is the only way that they can succeed.
And this is why so many people are afraid of Twitter being bought by somebody who values free speech.
Right.
So that they won't just shove these things into your time.
Oh, and by the way, you saw this at the onset of the show. Yeah. Sponsor for us, it's My Patriot Supply. You can go to prepwithcrowder.com. You get $50 off a 4-week emergency food kit. They have so many 5-star ratings. Look, this is one of those things. I'm not like some doomsday prepper, just so you know. But you remember what happened with COVID? Have you seen the grocery store shelves? I lived through the ice storm. We couldn't get any food for about 2 weeks. It's just always a good idea to have some food ready and some water, and it's inexpensive. And I got to tell you, hey, Patriot Supply, and it's prepwithcrowder.com. Can you guys send me more pudding?
Pudding.
I hadn't done a grocery run.
By the way, don't eat Carl.
By the way, that's not a joke. Yeah. Patriot Supply, please send more pudding.
This is real. If you're watching right now.
Yes. I'm sorry, Carl.
Yes. Poor Carl. Hashtag don't eat Carl.
No, but hold on a second. Hold on a second.
2 days.
To be real?
You guys are, I really want you guys to send me just the pudding. I don't need any more boxes, but I have no more pudding.
Steven will eat Dave if you don't send more pudding. That's the message.
Stop joking. They're going to think this is a joke. It's not a joke. I've run out of pudding.
Not a joke.
And by the way, it took a lot for me to come out and say that. Because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is for me to wake up in a puddle of my own filth and then scrounge through my bomb shelter food for pudding because it's delicious.
I do.
But I need more. I'm out. I'm legitimately out of the pudding.
Eat pudding, not Dave.
All right.
Yes.
So,
both.
While we're talking about this, we're talking about, we'll talk about Johnny Depp with my half-Asian lawyer here, I think maybe next week, and sort of go through that case by case. Let me set this up. Ezra Miller, I didn't really know a whole lot about him other than he's on one of those superhero shows that I wouldn't watch.
Better than.
And he's non-binary, I guess. He does this non-binary Flash in the DC universe, and he was just arrested again at 1:30 a.m. On Tuesday. And according to the police, Ezra became, quote, irate after being asked to leave and reportedly threw a chair, striking a 26-year-old female on the forehead, resulting in an approximate half-inch cut. Ooh. This is his second arrest in 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
And he's been the reason for over 10 police calls since March 7th, 2022. Here's some and I have a point that I want to make. Why are you talking about Ezra Miller?
That's breathtaking.
It is remarkable.
Dave's like, wow, that beat my record.
By far. It's not even close.
We actually have some videos of his other poor social boundaries.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is nothing to you? Whoa, bro.
I don't know what he says here, but watch this. It's like a cartoon.
Oh, you want a selfie, bro?
No,
I'm sorry.
We're not. I like your outfit. It seems
and here's
comfy. Yours is pretty cool. Smooth. Seems safe and breathable.
So what's the point to this? Gays / non-binary people get away with murder. Every time that I hear someone say, oh, he was bullied for being gay in high school, maybe, if this was 1992. Today, all that's required is a gay person say, he said a slur, and that person's life is absolutely destroyed.
Guys, I'm gay.
You can behave incredibly poorly 10 police calls, 2 arrests, and guess what? I don't know that he hasn't been fired, whereas Johnny Depp was allegedly falsely accused of abuse with no proof from Amber Heard. Proof to the opposite, by the way, that she was actually beaten on him, and he loses everything. He loses the biggest role in modern franchise history. This is so let's not act as though the victim class is actually the victim class at this point when you represent disproportionately all of the programming on Netflix and 4 out of 5 hosts on CNN+, and they all behave like crap. It's not because you're gay. It's because you're an asshole.
Right.
The thing you like.
Well, in the video you just showed, it just is it shows the complete admission of guilt.
Yes.
Where the pictures Amber Heard took, where it was like, yeah, he was snorting cocaine with my tampon applicator I put here while he wasn't home.
Right.
Yeah, clearly.
It doesn't work that way, Amber.
Yeah, everything that she did, she's like, this is his breakfast. It's like 3 beers and some lines is his breakfast.
Right. Yeah.
It's not accurate. I mean, look, it's cool, but it's not true.
Right. Don't do that, kids.
No, don't do that.
No, it's
unless you want to be the cool kid.
You really can't have it for breakfast, guys. I mean, there's no nutrition.
Unless you want to be a champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you want to eat Carl by
3 lines of Coke have been on my training table since I was a kid.
I'm on the box of wheat Coke. Now, my point. Think about this though. Too. This is a consistent pattern. You've seen it with, well, we saw this with when we had to deal with Vox. Yeah. You saw it with Jussie Smollett. Remember, people at CNN, subscribe to CNN Plus, by the way.
Juicy.
They were believing him. They said, this is horrible. I can't believe this, right? Because if someone is part of the victim class, you automatically believe them. And we saw that with the Me Too movement, right? Because there's a hierarchy. Well, women and men. And then if there's a gay black man, well, you don't necessarily know what to do. It depends on who is at the top of the food chain that day. This guy is committing actual crimes. This guy is he's nothing but a disruptor to society.
And they don't have to be held accountable.
He's a degenerate. They do not have to be held accountable. We actually did this as an experiment a long time ago with one of my producers where we were in a mall and I said the exact same thing as a gay person. So I would say, you have a really pretty smile. And they would get creeped out. And you would say, you have a pretty smile. Like, oh, thank you. Like, I just want to eat you up. Thank you. I just want to roll you up in a carpet and put you in my trunk and drive you away and no one will ever see you again. Like, oh, wow. They didn't do anything.
They were about to punch you and mace you.
Because everyone is afraid to speak out against someone who is more of a protected class than themselves for fear of losing their livelihood. That's not a good place to be. Look, if it's a straight white male who's a good guy, and a gay actor on a show that I've never seen, but a prick, you want the straight white male to point it out, regardless of whether this guy likes being a rump ranger. It could not be less relevant to the behavior. This is one thing, too, that, people always say, well, don't judge me because... No, people shouldn't people do judge you, though, based on your behavior. People don't judge you based on your thoughts. That's the thing. If you're gay, fine. No one here is saying that that you don't have the right to be gay or it needs to be illegal. No one's saying that. But you are judged on your behavior. And if you're gay and your behavior happens to be terrible, you're being judged on your behavior, not your sexual preference. But unfortunately, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, it removes all of the self-policing that we've done forever. Right? We've kept ourselves in line up until now. We're like, well, I can't say anything. He might be gay. And I'll be canceled. I can't tell. I don't know whether to say ma'am or something. I have no idea now. I'm just going to stay over here.
Yeah. Well, someone tried to blame me for it's a transgender suicide. Someone tried to sent me like an email.
What?
And like, oh, because it was because of what you said about. Have you watched The Two Genders Change My Mind? Have you watched? We've had angry lesbians sit down. I'm the only one who's been assaulted. By the way, I do believe there are only 2 genders because there have always only been 2 genders. Science. And I know you want to say sex and gender, but you can't say that anymore because now you have men competing in women's sports, which is separated for biological sex, and you can change your sex on your driver's license. So guess what? Sex and gender are one and the same. Scientifically, there are 2 genders. So you may not like it. Don't blame me for a suicide. There's going to be a 41% chance they attempted it anyway.
Well, and the reality with suicide is somebody who's had it in my family and somebody who's, considered it highly, it cannot be blamed on one person.
Right.
No. That is an entire lifelong problem of depression and other things being untreated. it's just grossly irresponsible to go, oh, they killed themselves and that's your fault. No, it's not, and you're completely disregarding their entire life by saying something so asinine.
Yeah, but if I kill myself, I'm going to write my suicide note that it was Brian Stelter.
Well, yeah.
Well, then that would
me
be true.
too.
Yeah, we've had to watch a lot.
That's more to destroy him.
Well, yeah, I'll be like, I just couldn't live up to the beauty.
I just couldn't. I felt like no matter how hard I tried, he was always one step ahead.
Yeah.
I looked at those subscriber
One
numbers, and I just couldn't do it.
He was always one deep footprint ahead.
There's always one shower chair ahead of us.
So this brings us to Netflix. Look, this is good news.
Yeah.
This is good news. There are changes that are taking place. It's not all bad. And the only way you get good news is if you fight like hell. Yesterday was a war day with libs of TikTok. We're going to have some good news on that front too. It's always good to celebrate the wins. So smash the like button if you want to celebrate the wins. Yeah. Okay. Here's another. Oh, there you go.
Let's call that the party button. Yeah. Party.
Oh. I like to partay, man. So, Jack Dorsey now. We just sort of hit on this yesterday, but now there's more context to it. He's leaving Twitter, next month. He's stepping down from the board.
Yeah.
But going scorched earth. Now, let me be clear, and then I want to ask you guys why you think this is, because it could just be that this guy wants his golden parachute with Elon Musk. He's stepping down from being. He did step down, by the way, from being CEO. I think it was in November of 2021.
Last
year. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
You guys will have the references. I think it's November 2021, and he's going to make a full exit. Okay. Before leaving, though, he's decided to go absolute ape
stuff.
Yeah, on the board of directors. Ape S.
Ape S. There we go.
That sounds like a new software program. Ape S. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Elon Musk, right? Wanted to buy Twitter, so he got a 9% stake, the largest stake. Then he said, "You know what? I will offer you significantly above the market price. Purchase all of it." Which kind of put them in a bind, because then Elon Musk said, "And if you don't, then I'll have to reconsider my stake in Twitter," which would cause their stock to take a nosedive, of course, inevitably.
Right.
So Twitter's board of directors, they recently adopted what would be described as a poison pill to prevent Elon Musk's potential takeover.
Which screws everybody.
It screws everybody.
Owns any share of Twitter ever.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind, this is also when people say, like, oh, these corporations are just beholden to their shareholders. I think there is a problem with that, too, sometimes with publicly traded companies, if they cut corners, right? Or if it ends up harming the consumer, if they place the shareholders' value above the consumer. That being said, I would certainly rather these companies, right, look out for the best interest of their shareholders than ideologues on the board. So let's be clear about that. Kind of like when people say, corporate media, man, I get it. There are problems with it. That's why this is entirely independent. But the alternative, where I was raised, CBC, you want government media? So let's just try and put this in context. Two notable figures, okay, in the tech industry.
Government media? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sure.
CBC?
Yeah.
In Canada? Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's government funded. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the research guys, you can pull this up. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think one of the people running for prime minister, it might have been the NDP, said that if he won, he would give the CDC $100 million more in funding. And I think it was Trudeau who said, yeah, but if I win, I'll give you $150 million. He was doing blackface.
Yeah, of course.
$150 million. And guess who they gave favorable coverage?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Just buy it right there, not even with your own money.
Yep.
I like Kids in the Hall on it. I'm surprised they allowed that.
Yep. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that CBC is largely government funded, and then you have this in a lot of different countries.
Okay.
And that's scarier. Look, at least when people point to Fox News, the reason Fox News has all of these great ratings is because it's the only one from that point of view.
Yeah.
It's the reason we have the ratings that we do compared to other entertainment shows. I mean, it's really more comparable to a late night show. It was a late night show, but then we realized that most of you actually work, so you watch it in the morning. So it's like late night in the morning. But it's because this is the only one that hasn't officially endorsed Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, right? So you have a wide open lane. That's a good thing to have that competition, at least. So let's just be aware here when people say shareholders, okay, would you rather Twitter screw the shareholders, which is what they're willing to do now, to look out for the ideological preferences of the board? Before you answer, most of the people on that board are pieces of shit. So, two notable figures in the tech industry, they pointed out the toxicity of a lot of these boards and how terrible they can be, to which Jack Dorsey responded, big facts. Not many words, but big facts. That actually seems
And
like
a
a
few
Donald
words,
Trump.
Yeah,
tweet.
that is a
big facts.
Someone's cryptic and huge.
Yeah, someone's like, Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK. Facts.
Facts.
I wouldn't say
big facts. True facts. One Twitter user actually described the board at Twitter as being, quote, mired in plots and coups from the beginning. And then Dorsey added, it's consistently been the dysfunction of the company.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Dorsey isn't just doing this with the board. So this is when people, I think there is a shift with Dorsey, but I'm not saying that he's done so much damage to our society.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. I mean, the New York Post, what they've done on Twitter, to whom they've catered. So I'm not saying that this absolves him of those sins. No, absolutely not. But the why is an interesting conversation that we'll have here as to he's made this change. So he also went after CNN's super straight and CNN Plus's megastar, Brian Stelter.
Yes.
Stelter tweeted, Tucker Carlson is always selling the same thing. And Philip Bump says, he's selling doubt. He's selling doubt. Why do you doubt my sexuality?
What are you selling, Brian?
I'm super straight.
Girl Scout cookies. Just kidding. Buying them, though.
Yes. That's why I have my purse. It's a gym bag.
Yeah.
See my new
When was the last time
Abercrombie
you
ad?
saw the inside of a gym? That's not important right now.
Wait, like a guy or a gym?
Yeah. So he said he's selling doubt. Dorsey quipped, and you are all selling hope.
Yeah. What?
So he's seeking
We
this
sell
out.
fear.
Secretly based over here.
And Stelter must have felt the impending heterosexual doom because he offered Dorsey an interview.
Very nice.
Boy, look at those two side profiles. That's the same species, folks.
That is hard to believe. Is one so much?
Imagine that in a biology textbook. It's like the man has a weight range of 120 to 412 pounds.
Hold on, just
Camera
listen.
adds a couple 100 pounds.
How many cameras were on him?
Yeah.
I'm just one person is how he starts that tweet. Are you sure? Like, well, you look like it could be more.
That's not what the airline says.
Yeah. Is he sitting closer to the camera? No, he's sitting farther away than Jack.
This is one of these one of these angle illusions that we're doing.
I'm just one person. But what? You're also self-important.
Yeah. Like he's Batman.
I'm just one man.
Yeah.
I'm not the flabby, super straight anchor the city needs when it deserves.
They bring up one of those like things with a hole cut in for your head that you go on vacation. Just a thinner guy.
In scuba gear.
Yeah, it's just holding a beach ball.
Oh my god.
So Jack,
I'm just one.
do you want a brunch?
So when accused of defending Tucker Carlson, which is unforgivable, Dorsey responded on Twitter, not defending a thing, holding up a mirror. And then he followed up with this doozy, which I think is important. He said, I know this from being on the streets of Ferguson during the protests and watching them, meaning CNN, trying to create conflict and film it, causing the protesters to chant FCNN. And for those of you who don't remember, we ran this on the show. Here are the protesters. And I remember laughing when it happened because I was saying, well, what did you think was going to happen, CNN? Of course they're going to turn on you. Here's the video of that actually happening.
CNN!
I'm an ally!
As you can hear,
We're here to help.
CNN either. These people are willing to protest.
You're our people.
His heart is breaking.
His soul is being crushed live.
He's like, oh, I know what'll solve it. CNN Plus.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
8 years from now, that'll go down in flames.
Should pay for this more.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the problem that we have. Wait,
No.
Wait, our ratings are in the tank. It's because people aren't paying enough.
They don't hate us, they love
What if we made it
us.
more expensive? And by the way, this is something to a token on. You can have this right. This is the thing that bothers me most about Brian Stelter. And we've talked about this. The reason CNN Plus doesn't work, the reason Disney is because when these corporate overlords aren't telling you what you're supposed to watch, it doesn't work. And so these people then reach out and try and ingratiate themselves now to the new corporate overlords, namely 5 companies who run new media. Case in point, if you have never watched Brian Stelter, and that's all of you, on his show, he has this sort of rotating banner behind him. And I don't know why. It just is free advertising for every social media company. This is what he does every show.
Most of the time here on CNN, we look outward and focus on the
YouTube.
world's stories. But here, we carve out
Twitter.
a little time to look inward at the roles of the media and how the media
It's going to
affects
change.
you.
Watch.
It's a tradition that began 30 years ago this month.
Instagram.
30 years ago, reliable
It doesn't even
sources
say
was
Brian
born.
Stelter's
Which is Facebook,
Instagram.
too.
No.
It's just
Welcome
Amazon.
to a CNN
Did you see that?
special.
Yeah.
I'm
Think about
Bernard
that for a
Cal.
second. Think about that for a second. Why do that?
I just walked here from my dressing room and boy, are my feet tired.
My bunions.
Oh my
Gonna need a knife when you get to the corns. File it. Now,
Why is there fruit?
think about this though for a second. Think of how scary. This is a guy simply that's trying to say, I'm an ally. I'm an ally. I'm an ally. Like a lighthouse. Please, Twitter. Please, YouTube. Please, CNN. Please, CNN. Please, Instagram. Please, Amazon. It just constantly rotates and shows the world's most powerful companies to try and prove his allegiance, to try and swear his loyalty. These people are cowards. And again, I judge them by their behavior, not their BMI. The behavior is, has Brian Stelter, has Anderson Cooper, has Don Lemon, has Chris Cuomo, have they ever taken an opinion? Have they ever held a stance? Genuinely, you can comment below because I can't think of any. And there can be some, like I know Bill Maher has. I know Jon Stewart has in the past. Have any of the CNN lineup hosts ever taken a stance that might get them in trouble with the companies that he just flashed across that screen? I'm judging them by their behavior, judging them by their actions, right? The media, the job was supposed to be to look out for the interests of the people, to speak truth to power, to hold power accountable. Well, right now the power is only a handful of companies. And these are the companies that are getting free advertising, I guess, in Brian Stelter's show. You know they're not paying for that. You know they didn't ask for that. That's him going like, look, I'm giving this to you for free. Please give me something. Feature me. This is a talentless person who simply acquiesces to the most powerful people in power. And then they try and act like they are just like you. That's what's terrifying. What's so scary about this, and we've seen this happen with us on YouTube. That's why there's nothing I would prefer more than you guys going over to Mug Club or at least Rumble for the free show.
Yeah.
Because YouTube has constantly changed the rules. And if you think of what YouTube has done for a second, for those of you who don't know, is it okay if I give people a little bit of a history briefer here on YouTube? Because I've been there since 2006. My brother was one of the first partners ever. So this is back in 2006. We did a video called Best Impressions Ever. And back then it would have been considered viral. And then I've been on YouTube myself since 2009. Back in the day in YouTube, and think of the name, it was what? YouTube. The whole idea was it was supposed to be about you. Back then, you didn't have any corporate media on YouTube. It was people uploading things, sharing it with their family, and then some people realized that it could be a valuable medium to upload comedy, to upload sketches, news shows. So it sort of started developing. But it was always designed to develop its own ecosystem and independent content. That's how they sold it, and that's how they specifically sold it to creators like me. And made us partners, right? Hey, you can make a living creating content independently. You don't have to be a part of a news network. You don't have to be a part of a cable network. And people said, great. So these people, I mean the independent content creators, yourself included, built up YouTube. Then they changed the algorithms. Once upon a time, YouTube, if you go back and you look, they used to actually have a trending page that was based on what was most popular, right? The tabs existed: trending or most viewed, most commented. That's how this channel initially grew, because there was controversy. I was the only conservative in 2008, 2009, really, on YouTube, and people would comment and argue, and so we'd get to the top of most commented, and guess what? That gave me an opportunity to be in a level playing field and people could see the content. Then eventually enough of you guys out there saw it and said, hey, you know what? I actually agree with this guy. Or I don't agree with him, but I like what he has to say, and I want to diversify my points of view. YouTube changed that. Now there's no more trending. There's no more top commenting. It's just sort of veiled, and they decide to curate what is most popular and trending. Okay, so that was a major change. That hurt a lot of independent content creators. Then they said, you know what? We're going to change the algorithm to favor uploading regularly every single day. That's really hard for independent content creators to do, right? And at this point, CNN is coming in, ABC, NBC is coming in. Who is that going to favor? The independent content creator who maybe has one editor on staff and right now is doing one show per week. That used to be the standard. People always used to say, watch my new show Tuesday or Friday or whatever. That's what this show used to be, because that's all we could do. But ABC can upload 5 clips a day. So it's not like they're actually giving a leg up to these big networks. They're just creating new algorithms to favor those people. Then what happened, right? Okay, well, at least you had the like and the dislike button and you still had comments. And then YouTube said, you know what? We're going to get rid of the dislike button because they didn't like what was happening on these corporate media channels and the White House channel. Now, again, this isn't them giving some kind of a subsidy, although they did actually produce a show with Vox. It's just them creating a new lay of the land to favor these legacy corporations. And now you might watch this, and at the end, God forbid, it'll play Seth Meyers. And so that is what has happened consistently. And it's terrifying when you think that they're working hand in hand with legacy media who are failed. This is like a bailout. It's like a bank bailout. It's like an airline bailout. CNN, you deserve to fail. You deserve to fail. Disney, you deserve to fail. Netflix, you deserve to fail. The problem is instead of the government, you have even more powerful entities now in social media who effectively bail out these companies and say, don't worry, we'll eliminate the competition that has been causing you to fail. We'll get rid of the channels that are outperforming you. Or we'll at least make it so that they can no longer compete with you. It ends up being a bailout when Brian Stelter, Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, when the market speaks, they always fail. And so they group together and you see it. Brian Stelter's just dumb enough to say the smart part out loud where he's going, I'm ingratiating myself to these new media companies so that way, please kill me last. And they will.
When CNN fails, though, he'd be like, I was the best at CNN. Hire me.
Right. You can't even say that.
No, but he's not going anywhere after this.
I was middle tier at CNN. Hire me.
I don't think he's going to be able to be a maitre d' at Red Lobster.
I was aggressively mediocre at CNN.
Hi. Yeah, did you guys like that?
You can pay me in Cheez-Its.
I don't care.
My gosh.
So that's this is what's scary about it, is you're going to see these people trying to consolidate more and more power. And once upon a time, new media, back then it was referred to as new media, now it's mainly social media. The beauty was that there was no gatekeeper, right? There's no barrier to entry. Now they've become more exclusive than ever, and they're trying to find a way to make sure that they maintain these grips of power. And even doing that, they're not doing as well as they should be. Anything you were going to say?
No, we're good, man.
Well,
let's go to the group of people who keep us from having to be dependent on that.
Yes, let's do that. You guys can, comment, share, like before we're going to play Bad Movie Lines. And with this, it's actually the Whoopi Goldberg film.
We're
not going to play the trailer here, are we?
What's the movie?
Do we play the trailer now?
Jumpin' Jack Flash?
Maybe we could get the trailer, right?
Do we have the trailer?
I don't have it now.
All right, no, never mind. We don't need it. What's the name of the film?
Theodore Rex.
Theodore Rex with Whoopi Goldberg, child.
We'll do it live.
We had a stunt T-Rex, and then I found out that dinosaurs aren't still alive.
Dino DNA.
All right, so we love you. If you're on Rumble and YouTube, go over to Rumble. But right now, Mug Club only. We're about to play Bad Movie Lines. YouTube, piss off.